Sure, what's up?
My dad has gotten done reading this book called Crash Proof. I don't know if you're familiar with it, by Peter Schiff.
By who?
Peter Schiff?
No.
No. It's one that they've been talking about on talk radio a lot. Anyway, this guy has got my dad convinced that the stock market crash is imminent, and we need to pull our money he's pulling his out of his 401k, all his investments, and he's trying to invest in gold and I guess overseas. He's saying to do, euros because of the price of the dollar dropping and all that kind of stuff. My dad is sure that this is going to happen and is trying to convince us to do the same thing. I'm not educated enough. I've just started reading the book myself, and I'm wondering, I'm sure it'll be hard for you to discuss it if you're not familiar with the book, but I'm wondering what your opinion is on that.
I'll try to be nice.
Okay.
I think it's absolutely ludicrous.
Okay.
Absolutely ludicrous. Amanda, how old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay. I'm 47. And I have seen books come out like this every year, as long as I was old enough to read. And, the guy that wrote the book's Irwin Schiff's dad? Or he's Irwin Schiff's kid? Blake is telling me, oh my gosh.
I don't know. They've been talking about it on the Glenn Beck show. That's where my dad heard about it.
Unbelievable. Glenn put him on the air?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And he's recommending the book.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Irwin Schiff is a kook that tells people that the IRS is not valid, and he gets people put in jail every year because they don't pay their taxes. That's who this guy's dad is.
Oh, wow.
His dad's in jail.
Huh.
For not paying his taxes. And has had an anti-income tax movement, all based on the fact that he says the income tax is not constitutional, and he ran around telling everybody that for years and not paying his taxes till they put him in jail, because it turns out it is constitutional. I don't like it, but it's constitutional. So this kid's dad is a nutburger, which probably means the kid's a nutburger. Glenn Beck is not. Glenn's a friend of mine. Yeah. And I'm a little shocked.
Right, and usually what he says seems to me pretty smart. And,
usually he is. I guess he just bought off on this. Because let me tell you, here's the deal. What I was getting ready to say a minute ago is I'm 47 years old, and I have heard the end of the world predicted every year as long as I can remember. There are book after book after book after book that the end of the world is here, and the stock market's going to crash. And, that it's just absolutely ludicrous. Could the stock market crash hypothetically? Yes, it could crash. Societies come to an end. Cultures completely come to an end. They do sometimes. But there is no indication sufficient out there for this kook's kid, who's probably a kook too, to say this. There's lots of people who predicted the crash, though. Lots of people.
Right, because Glenn has also had that guy on the Walker, the one from the GAO, that's talking about the same thing happening. And so I've been hearing it, it seems like, from a couple different directions, and I'm wondering if
I'm going to have to send Glenn an email. Anyway, but because I like his show, too. But anyway, the thing is that the end of the world is not coming. Here's the thing, okay? In order for the stock market to crash, you have to visualize this. Here's a simple way to look at it. Okay. Home Depot is closed. Microsoft is closed. Not just worth less, not just has less stores, is closed. Okay? Ford and General Motors are closed. They don't exist anymore. Okay? And Alcoa is closed. General Electric is closed. Whirlpool is closed. You starting to get the picture?
Yeah, but when that all happens, won't it be too late?
Amanda, can you honestly, with any level of logic, in any corner of your imagination, imagine all of those companies closed?
Well, it's hard to imagine, but I would imagine that the people in the late 20s probably weren't imagining it either.
Well, to start with, the stock market is structured, and our capital system is structured completely differently, with many more safeguards than it had in the 1920s, and that brought us into the Great Depression. The stock market operates completely differently. Let me give you an example of that, okay? The stock market dropped in value as much, and you can look at the charts online if you want to, they're easy to pull up, as much when Richard Nixon and his Vice President Agnew resigned. The stock market dove almost exactly the same percentage points in value. It went almost in half that it did that caused the crash in 29 that led to the Great Depression. But 1974, the resignation of Agnew and Nixon did not lead us into a Great Depression. Why? Because the way our markets are structured is completely different. The way our banking system is completely different. It's much more sophisticated, has lots more stopgaps. Another example of that is 911. I mean, if anything was going to crash our stock market, it could be that bricks were raining down on Wall Street, literally.
Right.
And that America was as scared and as angry as she has been in recent memory right then. And when the market opened up, it did dive. The market dropped very, very quickly. I don't know if you remember that or not. Mm-hmm. But after the stock market opened, after the attacks, the cowards flew the planes in, it dove. But it recovered completely in 56 days. And they didn't report that in the news. Now, why did we not go into a Great Depression then? Because the markets function differently. There's lots of safety valves and safety nets and things to relieve steam that were not in place. The market is probably 100 times more sophisticated and complicated now than it was in 1929. So this man is, these people that predict these things, they really, honestly, are typically very uneducated. And they're doomsayers. He's saying
that he's tying it all in with the spiraling national debt and the baby boomers reaching Social Security age. He's saying all those things coming together is what's going to cause it.
Let me give you a book to read.
Okay.
Bankruptcy 1998. Predicting that the world was going to cave in 1998.
Okay.
If you want to do it on a spiritual basis, 88 Reasons Why Jesus is Coming Back in 88. Because people do the same thing on the spiritual level. They predict the end of the world spiritually on a certain date. And they come up with all these convincing things over and over and over again. But Peter Schiff's nickname is Dr. Doom.
Right. Yep, I read that.
Okay. So, I mean, we really have to kind of take that into consideration. The point is that there's always a prophet of doom. There's always been a prophet of doom, and in this case, it's absolutely ludicrous. I will just tell you this. I know a lot about the stock market. I'm not an expert, but I am trained in finance formally, and I have been an investor for many, many years. And I do not own any gold, nor am I buying any gold. It's a stupid investment. It's averaged 4.2% over the last 50 years with great volatility. It makes the stock market look like a walk in the park volatility-wise. It's all over the map. Scary. I don't own any gold. I'm not going to buy any gold. It's a dumb idea. I have all of the money that I own tied up in bank accounts at banks, guaranteed by the FDIC, invested in good growth stock mutual funds in the stock market, and in paid-for real estate. And I am not moving a dime because of an idiot like Peter Schiff.
Yeah, leave it all where it is. Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Now, you've got to decide what is logical to you. Could you, under what circumstances can you envision the entire economy collapsing? And I can tell you, there's always, I can give you some more books to read recently that have come out that are predicting. Robert Kiyosaki has a book out called Prophecy, where he's predicting the end of the stock market. And I love Robert, and I like his writings. I like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but that book is a piece of trash. And I'm a Kiyosaki fan, but I'm not of that book. Because there's something about people that they have this Freudian dark cloud over their head that just says that this whole thing is coming to an end. That the world is coming to an end. And you've got to just stop and think that. So, you just can't buy into this stuff.
It seems like we're hearing it from so many, or it might be because we're